Your Honor. As you've seen from evidence sample 2B, we have surveillance footage from the parking lot clearly showing the defendant here taking the car and driving it out. This whole blind, this is a ruse.
Do you have anything to say for yourself, sir?
Yes, obviously that can't be the case. I could not drive a vehicle. I am blind, if you can
Objection,
see that.
Your Honor, this is speculative. There is no evidence proving, we have no doctor report proving that this man is actually blind. And you swore an oath, sir. May I remind you?
Duly noted. I've done nothing to jeopardize that oath. I believe this entire thing is ridiculous. I shouldn't be here.
Your Honor, in addition to the Grand Theft Auto charges, it clearly states here in Chapter 38-2-1B that impersonating a disabled person is also illegal. I'd like to add this to the charges. Can you please amend the prosecution's brief to add this charge?
Sir, does the prosecution have any questions for the defendant?
Yes, sir. Where were you at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, the 26th?
7 p.m. I believe I was feeding my cats at home.
Cats. How convenient, Your Honor, that the only witnesses we could interview is a cat.
Are the cats in the courtroom?
They are not. They are not. Sir, do you have any witnesses or other evidence that you were indeed at home with your pets on the 26th?
No, not too many people like to be friends with a blind man. So,
And when let's talk about this blindness. When did you were you born blind, sir, or is this a condition that came upon you later in life?
it was a very personal, unfortunate incident. I would prefer not to go into details on that.
I would actually, Your Honor, I would like to move for details on this matter.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I asked, this is relevant to the case?
It is.
Fair enough. I was just a boy.
How old were you when you say boy?
Not a day over 14.
Okay.
Just becoming a man, really. My father took me to go see a monster truck show. And upon one of the vehicles being run over, there was a splatter of hot oil right into my eyes.
So you're sitting close that day?
Yes, we were front row, and ever since that day, it's just been shapes and shadows.
How has that impacted your life?
I get by fine. You know, there's lots of help, available.
I see. Your Honor, without any witnesses to corroborate the defendant's story, I would like to move that be struck from the record.
Okay. Sustained.
Thank you. Back to the questions, sir. We have we suspect, based upon all the surveillance footage that we have been gathering from around the city, that somebody who looks markedly just like you has stolen, let me see here, 19 automobiles.
Well, it sounds like you could do a better job looking for the right guy, because how do you propose that a blind man would steal so many vehicles?
Yes. Well, let's presume for a moment, sir, that you are indeed blind. You seem to get around fairly easily with that cane. Am I correct?
Yep, I've had a lot of practice with it.
And medical research shows us that when you lose one of your senses, the other senses do indeed become heightened, such as the sense of hearing. Am I correct?
I would say that that's accurate to my experience.
Great. So, if one were to, say, be blind and get into an automobile with the intention of stealing said automobile, one could put the windows down and perhaps hear traffic or pedestrians or other sounds that might enable them to guide the vehicle safely to where they intended to take it.
Are you insinuating that I drove the vehicle while heavily legally blind?
Insinuating, sir? No, I have direct evidence from the cameras on the streetlights at the intersection of Hawthorne and Sunset to prove that you indeed were operating this particular vehicle in question, the 1992 baby blue Pontiac Grand Prix.
Are you aware that there are 6, if not more, people on the planet that look identical to us at any one given time? Sir, I can't control what other people look like, but there's some hard evidence in front of you that would suggest I'm not the guy who stole the vehicles.
Which I could understand if we had not dusted the entire automobile for fingerprints, which incidentally match with a 96.3% accuracy rating to your fingerprints, sir. What do you have to say to that?
Sounds like you could get 3.4% better.
Sir, do you have that evidence that you were talking
I
about?
do. We have submitted this before. Does Your Honor, do you not have this in your notes? I was told by my assistant that this had been given to you. You gave it to me.
I don't see it here.
We will get those to you immediately, Your Honor. In fact, I would like to ask for a recess for 5 minutes while we gather these notes.
I cannot grant that. I would like to keep going. Do you have access to this man's medical records?
I do not. I have been requesting access to this man's medical records for the last 2 weeks. And if the defense would simply cooperate with my very reasonable, perfectly in line with the law suggestions, we would have said medical records.
Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to turn over the defendant's medical records right now. Thank you.
Uh-huh. How convenient. How convenient that you have to. She has to go to the doctor to get them. Mm-hmm. And which doctor is that again?
Is that really
Are
necessary?
you kidding me? He's been convicted 3 times of falsifying medical records. Are you going to allow this in your courtroom?
Absolutely not. Sir, do you have anything else to say for yourself? Where were you on the night in question?
I've supplied sufficient testimony for my alibi, where I've been. I have no other way of verifying this, but I believe that there's ample evidence available. I don't believe that this court case needs to continue a single moment past today. Completely unnecessary to get my medical records involved in this. We should just use the cold hard facts in front of us today. Isn't that what justice is about?
We are missing some of these said cold hard facts. Your Honor, I would like to move that this case be continued tomorrow.
Absolutely not. We need to get this case closed today. I have way too many cases coming in through my court. This has to be settled today.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm going to settle this today. May have to work on an ulterior strategy here. Okay. Let's see. One moment, Your Honor, as I refresh my memory on these notes real quickly. Yes, okay. We also have evidence showing that the defendant was joined by a Miss Jennings was also found in the car. I would like to call Miss Jennings as a witness.
Miss Jennings? Do we have a Miss Jennings in the courtroom?
I was told that she would be present.
Miss Jennings?
Your Honor, how am I supposed to do my job if I am not having any cooperation from the defense. I would like to move that the defendant be not only held on the accounts of Grand Theft Auto, but also be held in contempt of this court.
Grand Theft Auto, how can I drive? I'm blind, dude.
Sir, you are not blind. You are making this up.
That sounds pretty ableist of you, man. Okay, I can't control this.
Ableist. You're accusing me of being an ableist.
I'm just saying you're not being very understanding or empathetic to my
Sir,
struggles.
you are the ableist because you are making a mockery of people who actually suffer from the condition by which you pretend to have.
That is an interesting position for you to have taken. Not sure if it's relevant today, but
Now, permission to approach the bench, Your Honor.
No.
This is ridiculous.
do you have any more questions?
Your Honor, this man is not blind. I don't know what else to do here. This man is not blind. Can we please just prove that this man is not blind? This should not be that difficult.
I thought that you had provided access to the defendant's medical records earlier in the case. I should have it. You know what, sir?
Yes.
I do have the records here. He is. I don't see anything on his medical records that has confirmed that you are blind, sir.
Well, it never really came up to take the box.
Exactly.
You know, it's so obvious. And I've had this condition since I was a child. Obviously, they forgot to check the box.
How convenient, Your Honor. How very, very convenient.
I do believe there are millions of medical mistakes made from improper doctors' handwriting every year. This is clearly just another example of that.
Your Honor, if we were to have evidence in this courtroom, immediately, physical, undeniable evidence that this man is not blind, would this be admissible in the case?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. That is all I needed to hear, sir. You are finished.
I'm
I
finished.
hereby declare the defendant guilty.
Guilty? Who's...